Hey guys, Ombarus here and welcome to another episode. This week is a little bit special. I wanted to show everyone where I'm at. I want to get feedback on my game, and so this week it's not about me showing you stuff, except maybe showing you my game, but it's about me wanting feedback from everyone watching. So let's dig right into it and let me do a walkthrough of the state of my game, what it looks like, how it plays, and let me know in the comment section what you think, how you like it. Do you like the presentation? Do you like the graphics? Do you like the gameplay? Of course, there's a lot of stuff still missing, especially on the graphic side. I know the UI needs some work, but this is what I have right now, and I think it's still kind of complete. It still has everything you need to enjoy the game. So when you start the game, the first thing you see is this main menu, which is very bare right now, but you still get this nice little scrolling leaderboard that will show you all your top 100 best. So if you have a save game, you'll have the continue button, but for now, let's just dig into a new game. When you click new, you're greeted with the choose a player name. I've added these random names that you can choose from, but you can of course also choose your own. And once you click OK, you're gonna get greeted with this welcome screen, which is kind of like a net hack. There's not that much story. This is basically the whole story of the game. Something went wrong while you were exploring our uncharted space. The wormhole you went through sent you so far that you lost all bearings. You have no idea where you are. And what you do know though is that this wormhole is kind of different than the others, and you're not able to go back through it. So if you want to go home, you're gonna have to explore this section of the galaxy, and you're gonna have to try to find a way to go back. And to do that, what you have to do is keep track of your energy, your health, try not to die, and then to produce energy, what you're gonna have to do is harvest planets, kill enemy ships, take over, and through your exploration maybe find some kind of artifacts that I called the Converter of Yentor because of NetHack again, that might be powerful enough to reopen this wormhole and send you home. It's basically the whole story. As you can see right now, the whole area around your ship is kind of grayed out. That's because this is the range of your sensor, and until you upgrade your sensor, you won't be able to see anything outside of this range. To explore, you can of course use the mouse and just click wherever you want to go. So for example, going this way here, we already discovered a ship and a planet. You can of course also use the keyboard keys. So if I hit the numpads on my keyboard, I can move around. You'll notice that every time I move, I lose a little bit of energy. Even just waiting uses some energy. And the more powerful your ship, the more energy you're going to use. So you always have to keep track of this, because if you run out of energy, then it's game over. The hole here in your status bar is of course the integrity of your ship, and if this falls to 0, you're going to be dead also. And then you have your shield here. You start with the basic shield. This is the only thing that will automatically regenerate, though it will use energy to regenerate. So avoiding having a low shield is probably a good strategy if you want to conserve your energy. So you have all the actions you can do on the side of the screen here. There's a small help button here, but for now it's not maybe the most useful, but it does show all the shortcuts and all the buttons you can push. And I've tried to include some information about like your status bar, how you should play the game and so on. But it's a little bit bare for now, but I wanted to have at least something. And then of course you have the settings here where you can save. You can kill yourself if you know that you're never going to make it, and you can also save and quit at the same time. If I click on this little button here, it pops another menu with some more options that you probably won't be using right at the beginning of the game, but that are useful later on in the game. But for now, for example, I can use the look option and click on this, and it says that it's a simple probe here. Eventually I want to have a bigger descriptions of everything, but for now that's what I have. So probes, I know because I'm the developer, they are not very dangerous, so I can easily approach it and select my weapon. So when I do this, the HUD switched to the weapon targeting system. If I had multiple weapons equipped, I could choose to skip some weapons or fire all of them at the same target. or choose different target for each of my weapon, but I only have one weapon right now, so if I skip, it just cancels my attack. Here I can see the range of my weapon. It's a very short range because it's a basic weapon. Depending on which weapon you equip, you might have different pattern, like a plus or an X or something like that, which will create opportunities for you to attack enemies in different ways, to approach them so that they cannot use their weapon, or that you have a chance to attack first, and so on. Because every enemies in the game kind of have similar equipment to yours, which means that battles are quite difficult. You shouldn't attack more than one, maybe two enemies at the same time, otherwise you might very well end up losing. So let's hit this probe by just clicking on it, and you can see I've just fired a missile, but it's not dead yet, but I did do 7 damage. Of course I can use the keyboard, so if I hit W, it's gonna just pop the weapon, just like if I clicked on the weapon button, and then let's shoot it again. And as you can see, we finally managed to kill it, and it did drop something. Let's have a look at it. If I click on it, it says that this is hydrogen. Hydrogen is basically like food in my game. It doesn't have any purpose besides giving you some more energies, and as you can see, as I tried to go and pick up my hydrogen, I just stumbled on another ship which is very similar to mine, and this is because it's also a scout just like me. If he comes, he's gonna have to waste one turn to come to us, so I'm gonna use this turn to pick up the hydrogen, and as you can see, he's just closed in the distance. As soon as he saw me, he's aggressive, so he's gonna come and attack me. Another way you can attack ship is do something I call the contextual click. Depending on what element of the screen you click, it's going to perform some different action. So if I click on an enemy ship, it's going to automatically pop up the weapon system. And let's attack this guy again. So luckily, because he moved in diagonal, I get 2 attack this turn, so I'm going to finish him. Oh, I couldn't finish him, but hopefully he missed his shot, so I am gonna shoot another time. And as you can see, this guy also dropped something. So this is a scanner, but it's only a short range scanner, and if you look at my inventory here, you can see that what I have equipped is also a short range scanner, so it's not very interesting. But it's interesting because, and let me show you the next thing that's very important in my game, it's the converter. The converter is basically a crafting window, and the most important thing in the converter is the recycle energy. So basically you can trash anything in your cargo hold for more energy. So for example, right now I don't need this short range scanner, so I'm just going to take it and drag it to the right, and it's going to tell me that if I recycle this one item, I'm going to gain 1000 energy. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit craft. I got the energy, so if you look at here, I now have 10,229, and let's go back here and use the hydrogen I got from the probe before, and as you can see, this guy also gives me 1000 energy. So if I craft it now, you can see I have 11,000 energy, which is very, very important because shooting, moving, recharging shield, everything in the game costs energy, so it's very, very easy to just run out of energy and die lost in the middle of a level. So let's go back to where I saw the planet here before. So another way you can move is if you drag the screen, you're gonna go into a sort of autopilot mode, and then anywhere you click on the screen, the ship is gonna move there automatically, like whoop. As you can see, he just moved back there right away. He would stop if anything happened on the way. So if I was to try to go like really, really far away, for example, and I encountered another ship or another planet or something, the autopilot would stop, and there would be a notification in the log window at the bottom of the screen. So in the log window here, you can see a lot of information. You've already seen, like when I hit an enemy, it tells me how much damage I did and so on. And also you can see here the number of turns that have elapsed. So right now we're on the 29th turn. Another useful information you're going to find in the top right corner here is the name of the level you're on. So as long as you're in the main branch, it's going to be called something like main 1, main 2, main 3. But there's also some side branches that you can go to, so they're going to be called like branch 01, branch 02 or something. Eventually I'm planning to use like some kind of meaningful names, but right now it's really just the name I gave it in my data files. but it helps you to figure out a little bit where you are, if you're going down or up, or if you know, you're in a branch or not, what to expect. So at the beginning, you have absolutely no way of knowing what's out there in the gray area. But as you progress in the game, you might be able to find better scanners that will tell you about some of the stuff you can find out there. So you're not going to have to move around so aimlessly. But at the beginning, you kind of have no choice to just pick a random direction and, you know, go there. So another probe here, that's very interesting because probes in my game are pretty much guaranteed to give you some hydrogen, which is kind of a valuable food at the beginning. So since you're gonna have issues with energy, especially at the beginning of the game, it's always a good thing to hit probes, especially since they cannot hit back. It means you're pretty safe attacking them. It's dropped a couple of different things. You can see them. A look, it's gonna tell you. So there's hydrogen, a long-range scanner. So to equip the sensor, the best way to do it is to go in the more options and then select mount. And then I'm gonna choose my scanner here, and I'm gonna want to replace it with the long-range scanner. And then as I do that, you can see that now I have a much bigger highlighted area when I move my ship. I'm gonna check. You see, I have only 2 missiles left. So I'm going to be crafting a few more missiles. Thing is crafting missiles cost energy, so you have to be careful not to craft too many, but you also want to be careful not to run out of missiles in the middle of a fight, because then you're gonna have to spend turn crafting missiles instead of, you know, saving yourself. So let's craft a couple of missiles, and let's go take on this ship here. So as you can see, I'm probably still going to wait for him to close in so that he wastes time, and I can maybe, if I'm lucky, shoot twice before he can shoot once. Oh, but as you can see, he's not closing in by diagonal. That tells me that he probably doesn't have a missile launcher, but a different type of weapon. So I'm going to change my strategy and go straight for him, because he has more range than me, and I don't want him to shoot at me while I'm still unable to shoot at him. So I'm going to close in for the kill right now. And once again, I'm going to shoot him. If you look, you're probably going to see a different animation for his weapon, because I'm pretty sure he has a laser turret. So let's shoot my missile. And here you see, he shot me with a laser turret. The laser turret does pretty much the same amount of damage as the missile launcher, but you don't need to craft missile for it, and it also has a little bit bigger range, but it cannot attack in diagonal. If I find a laser turret later, I'll show you the pattern of attack for it. So let's shoot another missile, and let's finish this guy. Oh, lucky for us, he dropped actually a scout hull relic. So this is what you need if, as you can see in the crafting here, it's possible to craft ships. And you need stuff for crafting these ships. So if you don't know what you need, you can look at it and it's going to tell you that you're missing, for example, a battleship hull relic to be able to craft a battleship, and that if you wanted to craft it, it would cost 7,500 energy. But now, as you can see, I have a scout hull relic in my cargo, so I could craft a human scout. If I drag it here, it says that it would cost me 1,800 energy. So I'm going to craft my ship, and I'm going to show you in a second why. So with the energy I have left, before I board my new ship, I'm going to use it to produce some missiles. As you can see, I crafted this ship here. So if I go into the more option, I have the transfer and the board command. So the transfer command allow me to switch items from one ship to another. So I'm just going to click the transfer all button. So it sent all my weapons to the weapon mount of the human scout, and so on and so on. And it sent everything in the cargo to the new ship. So once I do that, as you can see now, I have no more shield, I have very little energy, and I have no more inventory. So I can't use my weapons, I can't do anything, I can't use my converter. But what I'm going to do now is use the board command, and I'm going to select the ship I just crafted, and now all the controls have been transferred to this new ship. And what is interesting is, if you have a look here, I'm back to 10,000 energy, because when I craft a new ship right now, the ship will be created with its energy tank, if you will, always full. And let's go this way now. Oh yeah, we found another planet, so maybe we'll be lucky and this planet actually has stuff in it. Yes. So we actually got a couple of different things. Actually, we got one of each. So hydrogen is pretty good. Uranium is actually the best, and oxygen is like a cheap food. So if you have a look in the converter, oxygen only gives you 600 energy, so it's not that much. But if you look at the uranium, it gives you 2500 energy, so uranium is pretty rare, but it's really nice to keep around. And then the hydrogen we saw before just gives you 1000 energy. So let's just put everything at once. One of the things is that when you're crafting, you can craft a multiple of the same thing. So for example, right now I'm using everything I want to craft at the same time, and it's just gonna combine everything into 5100 energy. So now I have 13,000 energy, which is not bad, and I have 7 missiles, so I'm fairly well equipped. So let's keep exploring. So and here, this is something actually kind of interesting. We're encountering our first alien species. So if you have a look at it, this is a jerk scout instead of a human scout. So the jerk, for now, basically they're just green. But they have this particularity that they're never traveling alone. Individually, they're not very strong, but in groups, they can pack quite a punch. But let's see what we can do. Also, they attack with lasers. Jerk always use laser. And as you can see, it's taken me quite a lot of hit to kill him. And now I'm pretty much dead, and we're kind of out of luck right now. So I guess I'll just let myself be destroyed by this alien thingy. And as you can see, he shut me down and he killed me. And now you have like the final screen telling you what happened. So I was destroyed and I died on the 6th wormhole, and I visited 8 solar systems. So these are all taken account into my final score. And also they look at how much energy I had left, and this is my final score, 20,471. So let's have a look. When I go back in the menu here, you can see that the Ombarus is going to be listed at what was it, 20,000 something. So yes, here the Ombarus was destroyed on the 6th wormhole after visiting 8 solar system, and I ranked 8, so it's not a bad performance actually. We managed to get pretty far. But of course, it's gonna take a lot to get even further. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'd really like to know what you think about this game. Do you think it looks fun? I mean, I personally have a lot of fun playing it. What is really nice with this is that it's basically very much in its infancy. I mean, I only have like a dozen items right now. Imagine when I have like 200 items. The strategies and the complexity of the game is just gonna grow so quickly. I'm planning to have like more weapons that have area of effects. Maybe the UI is still a little bit clunky, and I don't know, it might be missing a little bit of content to really make it fun right now. But my personal opinion right now is that I just need to polish the look and the feel and the UI, and the gameplay itself is pretty much on point right now. So I'm really hoping to get some feedback from you guys. What do you think? Did you like it? And actually, if you want to try it, I've released this version as a pre-alpha version that you can try on your computer and even install it as an APK, though it's not an official release. So the version is debug, and the APK for the Android is also a debug APK. So you have to know how to install debug version of application on your Android phone. But if you've installed APK from like outside source before, like I mean outside of the Play Store, you should be able to figure out how to install my game. So check out the links in the bottom. I'm going to put a link to where you can download the PC version, which is just an executable that you can just extract in any folder you want and just run it. It's 2 files. For the Android, it's just an APK. You have it here. This APK is also, you just download it on your phone, and then if you click on it with any kind of file explorer on your phone, you should be able to install it. If you have comments or something, I'm encouraging you to post them on this YouTube video, but you can also join me on my Discord channel, or send me a Twitter, or contact me by email. I would like any kind of feedback you can give me. It's very, very important when you're developing a game that you don't just do it by yourself, that you get feedback from people around you. Well, that's going to be it. It's a bit of a different episode this week, and don't forget to check out my Patreon link if you want to encourage me to complete this game and release it finally. And see you guys in my next episode. Bye.